Hello and welcome to The Healing Way. My name is Richard Clark, and on this video I will be talking about allowing change. That's allowing the changes that happen when you use my healing techniques, or the healing techniques as I've set out on these videos. Now, this isn't an attempt to talk you into change. It isn't an attempt to create a placebo effect whereby I convince you that the methods will heal you of something and being convinced it happens. This is an attempt to explain to you that change will come. You will change, or at least things will start to change for you. And it's your choice whether or not you accept that change and allow it to happen. It seems to me that when people are ill, they have this idea that there is the person that they are and the illness, and the two are separate, and you can just simply take the ill part and get rid of it and you stay the same. You're no different at the end of the process than when you started. That's not really right. With long-term chronic conditions, the person who is ill has grown up with that illness, has developed their life with that illness, through that illness, and the illness has developed through them. It's not just about illness. You will feel all kinds of different emotions that the illness has brought out of you. There will be things like hatred of what's happening to you, anger, fear, resentment. You will be very upset. You will feel there's an injustice in the universe that's happening to you. And the longer it goes on, the more these feelings will become you. And the more acceptable these feelings will become as well. So your personality, your character, will have grown and developed, interwoven with all these feelings and all these thoughts. So it's very true to say you will become the illness. You are not just an ill person, but your whole development, the longer it's gone on, especially with long-term chronic conditions, the more you will have developed your personality in accordance with the illness. Now, this isn't derogatory what I'm saying here. It's not. I'm not trying to put you in a bad light. This will probably anyone in a serious position would develop this way. But seeing this is first step to moving away from it, because my methods offer change. But it is not enforced change. You cannot be made well against your will. Right? The methods will not get hold of you by the scruff of the neck and force you to be well if you don't want to do it. You see, the thing is, along with the way that you've developed, the way that you've evolved, the way that your personality has evolved, with a lot of things that are hurtful and harmful to you, like I just said, anger and fear and resentment. As well as that, the longer it goes on, it becomes comfortable. It becomes the devil you know. Right? And I come along and offer you, maybe you perceive it as the devil you don't know. There is the devil you know, which is illness, and my methods, which are the unknown. Yeah? And it's another kind of fear, to leave behind everything you've ever known, everything you are, and change. The fact that you are using the methods means you want to change anyway. It means you're sick and tired of where you are, the condition you're in. You've had enough. And you're using the methods, and hopefully you're ready to move on. And the key word, as friends quite often tell me is readiness. You have to be ready. Because as you move, it's a beautiful thing. It is absolutely beautiful that as you move away from illness, the real you that's never ever been seen starts to emerge. It will be a surprise to you what you truly are. What you are when you're not ill, when you're not suffering, when you're not in pain, when you're not resentful, when you're not hurting, all that, when that starts to go, the new you, the you that emerges, the true human being, is a beautiful thing. It is absolutely beautiful. But the key point is you have to let it happen. You have to let it emerge, and you have to be ready for it. Right? Change is not easy. Even changing your daily routine. You always brush your teeth at 8:30 in the morning. Then you decide to change and do it at 9 o'clock. And because you've done it for years, it can be traumatic. I'm brushing my teeth at 9 o'clock. My life is over. Life is very difficult. So real, deep, meaningful change and allowing change is very difficult. And it's something that would be great if you could give some thought to, some consideration, because my methods will help you. I've used them for years. I know they will help you. But you will only change and move away from where you are if you have the courage to do so and the willingness to do so. It's not a willingness of mind. It's not a thought thing. It's not something on the surface. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm ready for change. Of course I am. I don't want to stay ill, which is like 5% of your mind, and 95% of your existence is saying, no thanks, not for me. So be careful of just paying lip service. Be careful of just saying one thing. Have some deep insight into yourself and look with eyes that are within your soul, deep within yourself, and see what it is you actually want. As I say, the fact that you're doing these methods and trying them, means that you are wanting change. And to be ready, again, isn't a superficial thing. It is the readiness of existence. It is the readiness when a baby is born. It is the readiness of birth, of revolution, of change. It is that kind of being ready. It's an explosion of energy that just goes all through you. It is that serious quality of being ready to move on. But don't worry too much about it. It's not something you can whip into line or force. You just feel it. It's there or it isn't. And hopefully, watching this video will give you some insight into the position, and you'll be able to think about it. And when change comes, you'll allow it. That is the key phrase, allowing it. The key word, allowing it to happen. You don't have to whip it along. You just have to keep out of its way. It's one of the hardest things in life for humans to do, is to allow a process to happen. I remember years ago, when I was a young man, I used to be into Zen. I used to like Zen, I don't know why. I found it interesting. And there was a story about a Zen master was teaching somebody archery. And every time the student tried to fire the bow, the arrow, it just didn't work. It went all over the place. And he said to the master, why is it it's not working? And the master said, because you won't let it work. You won't let it happen. And this is another key thing about our existence. We need to let things happen. It's not just letting the healing happen, but letting our minds happen. Letting our minds give birth to creative things and letting that happen. And the mind is so important. It gives out these creative bursts all the time, if we allow it, to happen. So, readiness and allowing things and change and looking forwards. Look forwards, not backwards. Look up, not down. And just keep trying. As I say, I'm not trying to talk you into anything. I'm certainly not trying to talk you into convincing you that the healing methods are going to work. Right? They'll work if you allow them to work. They'll go as far as they can go, depending on whether or not you can allow it. I've done a lot of healings over the years. A lot. Thousands. And one thing that's always intrigued me is that somebody can get a fantastic amount from a healing. And other people with similar problems, similar places, they're in similar places, and they don't get so much. And then people start talking about, oh well, it wasn't meant to be, or it's karma, or something like that. And I'm thinking, I'm starting to think, no, it's not that. It's not that at all. What it is they never allowed it. It wasn't they didn't expect it. They never allowed it. And sometimes it's interesting, if someone's got a strongly held view, their world view is very powerful, very strong. And if my healing methods contradict that world view, right, they cannot allow it to work. Because if they allow it to work, it would shatter or confront their worldview. And that worldview is very, very important to them. They've nurtured it, they've nourished it, they've held it to them, they've given it comfort. And this worldview has become amazingly powerful. And they would rather be ill and have their worldview than give up their worldview and lose their illnesses. And another thing that saying about having power over you, the illnesses, they do gain power over us in this way. They want to be protected and sheltered and comforted, and they offer a distraction. They offer a distraction from real life, and real life can be very painful, can be tremendously painful. So there is all that. There is all that to consider. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. This is just my own view. Years and years of healing. This is where I've come to, and I get quite intuitive friends keep saying to me, they've got to be ready. They've got to be ready. And I know in myself. I've studied healing, I've studied my way of healing for 20 years, and the reason why now I'm videoing, now I'm blogging, now I'm explaining after 20 years is simply because now I'm ready. So be ready, let yourself evolve, let change come about, move on to a better place. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to this, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.